Hopefully before August 19, from the Commanders' perspective, they'll know if they're going to have their new stadium in D.C. open by 2030. There's this ongoing push and pull between the Commanders and the D.C. Council. They had a schmooze fest on Monday night at an upscale restaurant, Cafe Milano in Georgetown. They had the D.C. Council members there. They're trying to get them to understand the project more. They're just trying to get them to vote yes. They need to get 7 yes votes from the council members, and they wanted to do it by July 15. It's not going to happen by July 15, and they think that the longer it takes, the less likely it's open 2030. They want to have Women's World Cup games at this new stadium, et cetera, et cetera. So the thing that caught my eye this week, report from WUSA 9, I believe, and this was at the very end of a news report about the dinner, that Phil Mendelson, who is the chairperson of the D.C. Council, confirmed that there's some rumor out there that if the Commanders can't get what they want from D.C. Council, they're going to go to the man in charge. Not the man in charge of D.C., the man in charge of the entire country, President Trump and members of Congress, to get this thing moving. Now, I don't know if they're going to be looking for federal taxpayer money. Remember, there was a point when Elon Musk went hard against the idea of RFK Stadium site being used for a football stadium, saying that taxpayer money shouldn't be devoted to those projects. And the pushback was, well, there's no taxpayer money involved in giving the land to DC to use for a stadium. But the point we made at the time, at some point, they're going to be hat in hand, trying to get that hat full of taxpayer money. They're trying to do it in D.C. It's not happening quickly enough for their liking. So, again, I don't know what they'll do to try to get the president and key members of Congress behind this, but there's an urgency there, and there's almost an expectation. And I think this may be why the members of D.C. Council are saying, hey, we're going to take our time here. Like, quit trying to shove this down our throats. Quit trying to push this on us. Quit trying to force us to do what you want us to do. And there's so many of these teams now. It was the Browns. It was the Bengals. It's the Chiefs. It's this team. It's that team. They're trying to force governments to do what they want them to do. And I applaud, real applause, not sarcastic golf clap, real applause for DC Council to do what they're doing in saying, we got enough of this where people are trying to make us do what they want us to do without us having a chance to do it the right way. We're going to do this the right way. And if you don't like it, tough crap. I like that. I also like the idea of multi-billionaires paying for their own damn stadiums. I'm sorry. It's not something I'm ever going to need to worry about here in West Virginia, because we're not going to have a multi-billionaire trying to soak the taxpayers to build a stadium. But the point is, you look at how much these teams are worth. You look at all the issues going on currently in the country, from balancing budgets and programs that are much more important to the communities than having a stadium paid for by taxpayer money. I just feel like the pendulum has swung as it relates to the voters. For whatever reason, the politicians just keep giving that money to the sports teams, and we'll see if that ever stops.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.